Hello and welcome to Portman Road. This sound indicates an important announcement.
Welcome to Mass Creations, high quality web and software development. Wherever your vision, bring it to life with Mass Creations based in Bury St Edmunds. From web or mobile development to SEO and IT consultancy. Whatever your vision, get in touch with Mass Creations and join the list of companies from Terrace Life to Balm Music to have worked with them. Call today on 07896 904 571. That's 07896 904 571. Or head to masscreations.co.uk and access their 24/7 live chat. Mass Creations, proud partners with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and good afternoon, and welcome to the flagship Sunday podcast from Talking Town. It's all your regulars. We will broadcast the week. We will review it. We got Swindon yesterday, although was it Barcelona? By the way, some fans have perhaps carried on with Mr. Norwood's fantastic performance yesterday. Don't forget, Swindon have been relegated. It's fantastic to see the chat so busy before we go live. It really is heartwarming to me to see that chat just flying about and people just being a community of Town fans. It's absolutely brilliant. I can see Gems in the room. Matt Stannard, welcome in. Nick Muller, welcome in, my man. I wasn't too late. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Mike D, BAFTA award-winning Mike D is in the room. Welcome in. Ipswich Jules, Simon Wall. Simon, I hope you and Nicky are doing really well this afternoon. Paul Chapman, Mark Rao, afternoon, Guv. Only two to go. Absolutely, only two to go. And of course, Colin the Go is in the room and many more. So if you are watching this and need to nip out, you can catch it on YouTube at any point. You can listen back on audio platforms. Just search Talking Town ITFC Podcast and you'll find us anywhere. Apple, Spotify, anywhere you normally get your audio. And if you're listening currently on an audio, you're going to work or wherever you're doing, don't forget to leave a 5-star review for your favourite Ipswich Town podcast. Right, it's a really packed show today. Somehow, a really, really packed show looking at the itinerary. So let's get cracking. First of all, let's bring in the man who makes news stories happen. He brings you the news of tomorrow, today. He is, of course, our media mogul. It's Matt Phillips. Welcome in, my man. How you doing?
How are you all doing? You okay?
Very well, thank you. Yes, excited to be with you again. How's your weekend been so far?
It's been a lot of hay fever. Anyone else suffering?
Yes, and I'm on antihistamines. So yes, it's not been great, has it?
It says on my packet not to operate, machinery. Whether or not you can go on the podcast having taken them remains to be seen. But we'll find out in a bit. Absolutely. Who knows what I might say?
Absolutely. Welcome in, Ashley. Ashley, H is Hastings. I'm telling you. Matt, have you been watching Line of Duty?
I have not. Now, the wife has.
Okay.
And I'm watching something else on the iPad plugged in and occasionally looking up. So I've never really watched it.
If your wife is watching it, you would have had the blow-by-blow account. Tell me, who does Mrs. Phillips think H is?
She's not discussed it with me.
Crazy. I'm telling you, it's Hastings.
He is very good at normally guessing things in these kind of like crime dramas. Who did it? She's normally very good at these things. I think she could have been a screenwriter in another life. Yeah. I'll find out. Is it the last one tonight? Is it the last one tonight?
It is. You could call it Lizzie logic. Michael Finch, Norwood's performance was the masterpiece. 1 penalty and 1 goal from a back pass from a Swindon defender. Woohoo! Let's have a party. Absolutely. Jem, by far the best Town podcast. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Sarah. Victoria and Trish, I'm on series 2. Well, whatever happens tonight, being the finale, I believe it's the finale, it'll be a disappointment to some people, just like Game of Thrones was, without a shadow of a doubt.
That I did watch. Yeah, that was a bit disappointing, wasn't it?
The way that ended.
I did a season too many, maybe.
They rushed the end of the season. I think it's because the guys that do it were going on to the Star Trek or Star Wars franchise, so they wanted to get it done and dusted. And you could just tell. Yeah, it was just rushed. It was just
a decade of it. Let's just get it gone.
Yeah, I want it out of my life. Yeah, absolute tosh it was in the end. Michael Finch, you can operate the dust cuts, can pick up all the trash at Pullman Road, Matt. Mike D, they'll eke out another series. Mike, are you putting yourself forward for director for that one?
I wanted to be a dustman when I was younger. Like back in the 70s and 80s, they used to hang on the back. They can't do that now. Health and safety's ruined it. But that looked a good gig just to be riding the back of a dust cut all day.
Yeah, I had a little run-in with some dustmen during the week. We won't go there.
Doesn't surprise me.
I parked in a bay, and they said they couldn't get through. I said I could drive that through myself, pal. Give me the keys.
If only someone would film that, I'd like to see that.
Mike's an edit. I do apologise, Mike. I might be calling you up then. Matt Stunner, there's prequels to Game of Thrones. Right, we have got a football show to discuss. Let's first of all bring in the man that is, if you need a few likes, Matt, if you need a few retweets, a few hearts on social media, then you want to get this man plastered all over it because he's just a like machine. He brings the hard truth. Richard Ross, where you going? Where is Mario Crunchatelli? I can see him.
Is he coming?
I don't know. Where are you? Where are you?
All that build up. Let me tell you, he might give us likes, he might give us retweets. He also gives us associated earache on Twitter. That Talking Town lot. That Talking Town lot.
Oh, no.
I ain't done nothing.
It's not good. Rich, you need to come out and come back in again, mate. We've got no camera at the moment, which some of people at home are going, yeah, Crunch is not on the show. But you are right, Matt. We do get associated earache. When it all kicked off midweek, I just went, right, Crunch-ageddon's is happening again. I'm out. See you tomorrow. Michael Finch, football. What's that? I haven't seen a football Ipswich for so long. I've forgotten what it looks like. Mike D. Crunch versus Anderson coming to a TT box office near you. Yes, Lee Anderson yesterday had been having a couple of those away day beers, Matt, and
he enjoyed those. I think
he was
high from the win, and and then it reminded me of those like old WWF WWE shows where someone's on the mic and then the music cuts in when they're talking, and the Cruncher suddenly appeared.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have played the intro yesterday. You're right. That was brilliant. I didn't expect Lee Anderson to come on the show yesterday and just proper gun for him.
Lee's always consistent with his opinions, isn't he? You know, he's not swayed by. It's very easy, isn't it, to get swayed by other people. And but you know, he sticks to his guns. So well done, Lee. He sticks to your guns.
He really does. While we wait for Mr. Cruncher Balotelli to come back into the room, let's kick it off with Swindon yesterday, or Barcelona as I'm now calling them, because the way social media, particularly Facebook, I haven't been on Twitter, has reacted has been like James Norwood single-handedly took on Sergio Ramos and Piqué in their prime and made them look like silly fools. But it was just Swindon. We'll wait for the Norwood because I think Crunch got a few words. Let's kick it off with Di Cornell. Nothing to do all game, and then what he does do wasn't great. What are your thoughts on Di? Because I'm not going to focus on players that aren't going to be here next year, just to let the guys and girls at home know. We're going to focus on the players in contract. So Di Cornell, what did you make of him?
I feel like with Cornell, that we've sort of come full circle with him, because first impressions last, don't they? So we saw him in that top of the, think way back to August and that Spurs friendly. Mm-hmm. And our first impression was him giving the ball away, and thus they scored the opening goal, I think, wasn't it? When he tried to play into midfield. And here we are right at the end of the season, he's made another gaffe. So I feel like we've gone full circle with him a little bit. The problem, look, I watched the boxing last night, and Joseph Parker against Chisora, and Parker always gets like a good rep, but he does nothing spectacular. He's not a huge knockout artist. He's not a particularly dazzling boxer, not great on his feet. He just gets the job. Not for me. He just gets the job done. And I feel like Cornell is probably in that camp. He does nothing spectacular. You used to look at Bart, didn't we? Great shot stopper. Maybe not the best at kicking, but you knew the reason he won Player of the Year 3 times on the trot was because he was spectacular at making saves. But Cornell and Holy don't do any of those things. you wouldn't say they're an 8, a 9, or a 10 out of 10 in any particular aspect of keeping.
Yeah,
which is probably one of the reasons we've had, no one can really decide if they're any good or not, or whether they should be kept, because they don't have any attributes that you think, you've got to keep Cornell, you've got to keep Holy. And we saw it yesterday. He didn't do anything for most of the game, and then he's picking the ball out of the net.
We're in that and I said this previously on the show, and this is a real weird sort of time because it's been taken over, got a bit of money, but you've still got the league rules about 60% of turnover, etc., etc. There's ways around that. There's always ways around it. But 2 players in contract, 1 more year. Not the worst you've ever seen, but not the best.
No, and
you need to offload one before you bring one in, don't you?
Yeah, and I know we're going to look at this a little bit later, and I've got an idea of who can come in. But yeah, you do. I mean, Cornell's what's he got? Maybe another year or so on his deal. I know Holy's got another year on his deal, so you could think if you wanted to get rid of Holy, you could probably just get a nominal fee, and he would probably stay League 1, League 2 level. I would have thought.
You could be creative with your transfer. You could maybe look at a League 2 keeper who's on the rise and see if you want to do a swap deal, and you pay some of the outgoing. I mean, I don't know what Holy or Cornell's on. I can't imagine Cornell coming from a League 2 side is on a lot of money, but you could do a swap deal, plus a fee or plus something, and
you could do that. I mean, I think Cornell was sitting on the bench when Northampton got promoted, didn't they? I think he played the majority of games, and he fell away in like the last quarter of the season. I'd have to look that up just to see how correct that is. But he certainly was not in goal for the playoff final and sat on the bench. So, sometimes you have to ask yourself, if he's sitting on the bench for Northampton, is he really good enough to come in at Ipswich Town?
And the talking cobbler said he wasn't. No filter Yorkshire V. Cornell is as good as and useful as a knitted condom. There we go. Nick Poulter, welcome in, Nick. Cruncher taking the social media blackout to another level. Yes, he is. Here he is. I won't play the intro again, but just in case it falls flat. Mario Crunchatelli. There he is.
Sorry, boys. Sorry. My internet went off literally as I was just about to come on.
Oh, that's all those people at home trying to tweet you for the likes and retweets you give them.
Even yesterday, I'm not on Twitter and my phone's going off. All the lemons.
Ping, 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 ping.
Are you missing being on Twitter? I've got to say, I've not missed it.
Not at all. Not at all.
I told you.
Great to have some time out, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I've told you that before. You need to have no, the world is Twitter. Yeah. It's only when you take a step back, you realise.
Well, we're talking goalkeepers here, and Rich, and Leighton Durrant's made a very good point there. Lee Camp made some good saves. Now, I remember thinking a few years back he would have been a really good number 1 for us, and I think we were linked to him for a period. I think he went to Norwich. Did he go Norwich?
No.
He's another keeper, Matt, who's had a man bun before, so he's in the bin.
Yeah, international.
He's still got one, isn't he?
I think so, yeah.
He's late.
How old is he? How old is he now? 37?
Yeah, 36, 37, I'd say. Yeah.
Not for me. Sam Stannard, time to lose my talking time virginity. Crunches, gentle.
Oh, Sam's in the house.
Broken the blackout for this show only. Good old Callie. Although YouTube's not social media, so it's all good. Colin Plum. Hi, Rich. Lovely lunch today. Delicious, my old friend.
Oh, what did he have? He had chicken. He had chicken, but what did you have for dessert, Colin?
Oh, it's 2 courses straight in, does it? 2 courses straight in, Colin.
I have 2 every day. Well, now I am the body of Buddha. I could upkeep that level, but
I barely eat until the evening. I've got to say,
you eat so late.
Yeah, I do eat late. Yeah, it's stupid.
Really. You don't go to bed till about 1 o'clock, do you, Matt?
I do go to bed late. My life is upside down. I'm living on different time zones.
You have your dessert so late. It might be breakfast.
Blame me trying to watch the Chicago Cubs. It's their fault. And they're bottom of their division right now as well. So that's going badly.
We've just been covering Cornell, Crunch, but talk to me about Luke Wolfenden yesterday. We're only covering players in contract.
Cornell.
Not for you.
Chocolate, puddle, pudding and cream.
Wow.
Ooh.
Don't call him what he has for his tea. Little sandwich or something? Ham sandwich?
He was on the bike this morning. He said, did he send you that, Martin? Did he send you a clip of the clock on the bike? 56 minutes he'd done on the bike. So, look, he's entitled to go and...
Working up an appetite.
Luke Wolfenden. Daniel Barnard, we're coming to Norwood. Just hang on in there. Wolfenden, he hasn't impressed, has he, this season? I was there. What a night out that was.
So good, they lost even more somewhere.
He's still chasing that waiter. I told you, he can't keep up with him. He's too quick for him. Hamstring's gone. Maybe it's the Achilles. He done. Wolfenden. He's been underwhelming, hasn't he, this season? It was last season, I think. Did Lambert say he was a £10 million rated player? I think he said last season. Look,
yeah, he did.
We were buzzing, weren't we, when he signed that new contract? We were buzzing.
Look, he's still a young player. Would he be first choice next season? Probably not for me. Not at the minute. No, you think he should?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. He's got to up his game. He's another one who's come through the academy. Does he get a bit of a free pass from the fans?
Probably.
If it was Toto playing alongside him and Toto makes an error, everyone loses their heads. Wolf and then
a bit different though, isn't it? Like if you're going to say Dazelle has been poor this year because the team's been poor, you have to try and put every young player in that
Sofa score yesterday.
I'll
Matt.
get that in the bin.
Big fan of the Sofa score.
Get that in the bin. I hate Sofa score. Anyway.
Yeah, Wolfenden, look, he's a young player. He's going to be here next season. You've got to build your side probably around people like him, Flynn, Andre, Jack Lancaster. Look, there's some good kids there, and hopefully they'll go away in the summer and come back reinvigorated with some new signings. And just you've got to change that mindset of everybody, haven't we?
Better role models to maybe look up to.
Hopefully,
in terms of players that might have achieved something in the game rather than just got our club relegated. Do you know what I mean? We've said this probably. You don't want the hangover of relegation shadowing across youth players because you're looking up at people that haven't achieved anything.
No, I've always said though, haven't I, that youth players, younger players, they have that as they develop. And this is him and Down same year have had that sort of, and it's going to come up again. Because they are good players.
Look at the boy Twine yesterday, who we scored that worldie at Portman Road and then gifted us a goal yesterday.
I've got him for later. Got him for later.
Do you want my stat about him? He's got more town assists than Andre Dazelle.
Oh, I knew he was going to say that.
It's a great game.
Don't at me. It's true. Look, listen, Wolfenden. I think if you get a better centre half next to him, I think he's a good player. As they always say, form temporary, class permanent, and they've got some class about him, particularly at this level. I really do think so.
It's all about getting the right partner for him, I think, isn't it? In the summer, I don't know who we'll go for. I know, like I've got a lot of attacking players, but we need Luke Penning to dig out a few centre backs for us if he's watching.
Are you saying for Wolfenden?
Yeah, I think we need someone to play alongside him.
What about Toto?
No,
not for me.
It's been announced in this year.
Yeah, not for me. I think it's time to actually just move on.
And then you do look, guys, and we've kept 18 clean sheets this season.
But Rich, anyone in this league can keep a clean sheet. Look at yesterday. Swindon had a glove on us until Cornell threw it in the net.
Well, it did. It made me laugh. I was watching the pre-show, and you were talking about Cornell and Coley and having a bit of a go at them. And Lee Anderson, hi Lee, was in the chat saying about, we've kept 18 clean sheets. In the full time, in the comments, he was hammering Cornell. He'd been backing him about 2 hours ago. Now he's thrown one in, and he's having. Anyway, it's lovely, great banter yesterday. I love that with Lee. He's a great guy, and I loved it.
One of our subscribers, isn't he, mine?
He is. Yeah, we love Lee. I love Lee. Do you know what? This league is so bad in terms of clean, and it is awful. Teams really lay gloves on each other. I wouldn't be against bringing in Darber through and playing in Darber and Wolfenden next year.
Yeah.
If you can't bed these players in now, ready for the championship, if we ever get there, when are you? Because
I do agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like outside the top 6, there's such a parity between top 8 and the rest. Providing you've got a goal scorer or several goal scorers,
I wouldn't be against playing them two, but I think you need to have a very good goalkeeper. We need a little bit of experience in amongst it because I don't think you can just throw a load of kids in. Obviously, I'll have Vincent Young would be my right back. I know he's not yours, Martin, first choice, but I think if he proves his fitness, left back, I think we still need another left back. But I think if you're going to play them two centre halves together, two young kids, I think you need a decent goalkeeper behind them who's going to look. Neither of these two goalkeepers are going to win us any games, are they? I don't think.
No.
Whereas Bart, when we were in the Championship, look at that season when we struggled, and you look at that montage of saves, guys, that was put together. Some of them were absolutely unbelievable, and he kept us up that season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's just both are under another year's deal, which is annoying. You need to sort that out. But yeah, I mean, Baggett again, Gem. Baggett's a unit, got to play a little bit next season. I wouldn't be against 3 centre halves being as in like rotation or Baggett as a backup, and Darber, Wolfenden, Baggett, because it allows you to spend more money elsewhere on the key areas that are going to win you football games.
Yeah.
Kane Vincent Young.
Would you be keeping Toto, Martin?
Nah. He's now a block in the pathway because he's not good enough for the Championship. He's proved that. He's okay at this level. He is what he is. Move it on.
Fair enough.
And Darber, Wolfenden, Baggett, and I've loved Toto from day one. As in, like this season, I've said he needs to prove himself. He is what he is. He
has proved himself this season because we gave him an instant red in the summer.
Probably, if the voting is like, you've probably seen it online, the votes, everyone vote Baggett. Toto would probably win Player of the Year. I've not voted. I'm not going to vote. I think it's a waste of time.
No, I'm not voting either. But yeah, if I had a gun to my head, I'd say Toto. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
In the summer, Matt, you said KVY, if he's fit, will get double-digit goals. He hasn't been fit, and for that reason, he's not my starting right back because he can't prove his fitness. What did you make of him yesterday?
In all competitions.
What did you make of him?
What did I think of him yesterday? I was a bit annoyed he didn't score at the far post of that header. And Cook did say, it's so frustrating, he said, about Kane Vincent Young. But
who put the ball in? Who's put the ball in for KVY there, Matt? Andre.
Oh, it was Andre, was it?
Yeah.
I mean, Norwood should have scored from the rebound, shouldn't he? He was too flat-footed in the middle of the goal. He wasn't on his toes, was he? But anyway. What was the question again? What did I think of KVY?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just finding his way back, isn't it? It's annoying that he's finding his way back with 90-minute performances and he's going to be off for the summer. He's just getting that, another boxing analogy. He's ring rust. He's got ring rust. So he's finding his way back, isn't he? The problem I've got with him, I always think now we're waiting for him to get injured again. Because you can only go on the history that he's had. He had 9 brilliant games for us, scored some great goals, and then disappeared for 18 months. And then he comes back in that Portsmouth game, didn't he? And he done his hamstring. So I guess I'm kind of always waiting for him to, it's one of the things, waiting for the next thing to happen, like Teddy Bishop. What was it, 50 appearances in about 5 years? Terrible. You're always waiting for the next injury to come. And I feel like that's going to be another shadow over him, unfortunately, because he's got all the talent in the world, I think.
And it's for that reason he's not my starting right back. Prove your fitness next year. Prove your way in. Force your way in. Branch, what about you?
If he can only prove it by playing football. No good him like sitting on the bench playing for the 23s. I think I've been impressed with what I've seen. There's still a lot more to come from Kane, but it's encouraging to see him playing 90 minutes week in, week out. What's that? Was that his 4th or his 5th game now that he's played? He's obviously going to have another 2. Keep ticking over in the summer. Real good pre-season, and
can't rely on him.
But I know what he's saying.
Going into a season with him as your right back or Norwood as your centre forward penciled in is the same way is how you end up with Drillen playing having as many games as he did. Or
who are you signing? Are you signing a right back to start? Are you?
I am. I'm bringing one this afternoon. I've got my little shopping list.
I've got one too. It'll be my one.
Great minds and all that. But look, great player when he's fit. But like Norwood, when people say if we can keep Norwood fit, that's a huge if in the world of football because he's played 50% of games this year, I believe, Norwood. Obviously, Kane's played less.
Appearances-wise, he has. Not starts.
And it's just, I can't go into a season that's important, really important, with a whole lot of ifs.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like Kenlock, for example. I'd keep Kenlock as my starting left back. He does nothing wrong. He's no frills. He's got 1 more year. Stick him in. And then when you get promoted, if you get promoted, you replace him with a better left back. But the more pieces of the puzzle I can keep together that are 6 and 7 out of 10 in the less dangerous areas, I can go and spend more money on the more dangerous areas of the field.
Yeah, but I still think fullback. You see Vincent Young when he played in them 9 games. He was fantastic going forward. He's really dynamic, isn't he? That's where Matt said he'll get 10. Look, 10 goals a little bit
gets a good position
over the top. But I think if he was at a fit season for Kane, he'd get you 4 or 5 goals. I think nowadays in football, the fullbacks are a really important position. They are going forward. They're attackers. You can use them as an attacking player. Kenlock, not for me. He's 24 now. I've said it before time and time again on here. He's not nailed down that left-back spot. And he's playing under, 4 or 5 managers? No one's really trusted him and no one's really believed in him. And I think for him, he's at an age now where it's no good him playing 10, 12, 15 games a season. He needs to play week in, week out. He's at that age where he's got to be playing football. So if he doesn't play for us, if I was him, get on the phone to my agent, find me a club where I can play every week.
But again, another player, another year on his deal that he's going to have a limited market, and he's not going to want to go to somewhere it's not right for him, either financially or professionally or whatever way you would want to look at it. I would just throw him in. Like every time you see him, he never makes an horrendous howler that you think, oh my God, no. and he costs you the game. Because even yesterday, he made one that didn't cost a goal, but KVY then made one about 5 or 10 minutes later. He's a third-tier player on another year. Just run with it.
Kenlock doesn't, Rich saying how dynamic you have to be in the fullbacks. The problem with Kenlock is he just doesn't seem comfortable going forward, does he? He can't
think that's the way he runs. I think, look, I'm not saying he's not a decent player. And I think when he's played this season, Miles, it was only really Fleetwood, wasn't it, away when he had a real bad game. But then everyone did that night. So we can't really say. I wouldn't be against him, Martin. I wouldn't be against him playing. I just think he needs for himself, he needs to be playing next season, barring injury, 46 games. Is Cook going to trust him enough to we'll wait and see, won't we?
Well, that said,
there's no clubs, though, probably looking at Kenlock and going, we need to get him in. Again,
probably
not particularly spectacular, is he? But I've enjoyed him coming back with this little bit of an Indian summer he's had in terms of the season. And, he certainly had renewed confidence when he got back in the team, didn't he? It was great to see. Really good to see.
Yeah. I have got left back on my shopping list, though, coming up soon. So, I'm not blinded by the fact that he should be the starter. But, we'll see. Colin, the GOAT, welcome in. What do you make of Miles Kenlock?
Well, I'm going to have to be honest with you. Good afternoon to everybody, by the way.
Hi, Colin.
How's your lunch? How's your lunch? More importantly.
Absolutely unbelievable, Rich. Venetia's come up trumps again, as usual.
We'll all be round soon when restrictions have lifted. We'll come round.
I told you, do you remember the text I sent you? Right? As soon as we can, you and a few other people can come round mine and have Sunday lunch. That's 100%.
Can we do a pod live from your shed?
Does
Wi-Fi reach down that far?
You can do. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
There you go.
You can do whatever you like. Anyway, getting back onto the question.
I'm all worried what we're having for dinner now when we go around Collins.
I've got to say, I mean, I've never been the greatest admirer of Miles, to be perfectly honest with you. Me and my boys, we quite often speak about Miles over the last couple of years, and I do agree. His running style just seems so strange to me for a professional athlete, if you like. I've always thought that. I mean, but obviously, we've seen people like Millsy and Tarico and loads of other good fullbacks who just bombed on down there, kind of thing. He just doesn't kind of seem like the right kind of fit for me. Would I keep him as a number 2 left back? Yes, probably. I did say probably, but I would definitely sign the left back. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. But yeah, that's my view on that, Martin. If for what it's worth, I certainly cannot, if I'm honest, see him starting as a first team regular next year. No. That's my opinion. But
the problem he's got, Colin, he's in the shadow. I keep saying this. He's in the shadow of the 3 previous incumbents. When you've got Knudsen, who played at a World Cup, Mings has gone on to play for England, Criswell played for England. So it's just like that's a real drop off in it for Miles. It's not his fault. It's just that those 3 players previous to him have been quality.
Good shout there from Daniel Barnard. That's a good shout.
Yeah,
Luke Garbutt,
he's
he is available in the summer.
Scored yesterday.
He's more of a winger.
Rich, what's the lad's name? Can't think of his name. The left back at Wigan.
Oh, he's on my list. Viv Solomon Otterball.
Sorry?
Viv Solomon Otterball. Played on the left, didn't he, against us, I think.
He's very highly recommended, I believe. Yes, is that right or wrong?
It is, but then Wigan have got no reason to. Is he still under contract? Because they've also had a takeover. They're going to be just as ambitious as we are. They're not going to be wanting to sell their best players. So I wouldn't be looking at Wigan too much and thinking, who can we cherry pick? Because if they're not out of contract, then we're going to be thinking, well, we can keep hold of him as well. What about Andre Dazelle? I'll ask you in a second, Conor. But Matt, Andre Dazelle yesterday from our England prospects. What did you make of him yesterday?
I thought he did all right yesterday. We were sort of bemoaning he doesn't get enough assists, but he was unlucky not to get one with the crossover for Kane Vincent-Young. He got 7 out of 10 in the football league paper. He got 7 out of 10, so good performance. He was man of the match on SofaScore. If you look at some of the stats, some of the midfield battles, he came through and won. Had some good tackling stats yesterday. But again, look who we were playing. We're playing Swindon. They switched off. They've conceded 86 goals. I was flitting between the two commentaries yesterday, Ian Atkins and Brenner and Swindon. And even the Swindon commentators were like, when is this season going to be finished? Do you know what I mean? So I think it was good opposition for him to look good against yesterday, I think.
Rotation player for me, Colin. How about yourself, Andre Dazelle next year? What's his prospects for you?
Oh dear. Do you know? I really quite honestly sit a little bit on the fence with Andre. I think he's potentially 12, 18 months ago. I thought maybe he'd go through the roof. I really did, Andre. Do I think he's leveled off a bit? Yes. Do I think he could rise again? Yes. I think he's got, technically, I think he's got just about everything. I think sometimes it's in his nut, I think if he can get that right, I think he could be excellent for us. I really do believe that. I go back to midfield players of the past, and I think, I think about people like Colin Viljohn, people like Onamir, and people like that, Matty Holland, even, people, Jim Maggill, and people who had vision, coming out of their ears. Andre's got that. He has really got that, and people have got to understand that. I think it's just a little piece, Rich, Matt, and Martin. There's a little piece missing from that jigsaw.
Agreed.
That he needs to add. And I can't understand for the life of me why he can't add that, because he's got his father, obviously, a fan. I forgot about Jason. I mean, he could pick a pass as well. Bless his heart. Fantastic footballer. Now, when you've got somebody like that in the background, as your father, for goodness sake, that's why I can't understand why he can't get that part right, Martin.
Does that hang too much? Does his dad hang too much over him with the fans? Because obviously, I remember Jason. He was one of my favourite players. I always remember Jason. Yep. I don't know if you remember him, Matt, as well. When sort of midfield games, he'd disappear. And then the season when we won the league, 91-92, he played up front. Couldn't hide. Yeah. And he was fantastic. Because look at the size. He was physically great. He could score a goal. But Andre, look, I do rate him. I think it'd be interesting. We need someone in there with a bit of grit and determination in the midfield. At the minute, we're too soft. Because people will say about Flynn. We'll talk about him in a bit. We need someone in there with a bit of experience, a bit of nous. Andre, I think Tweedy in the comments there, 1 more year and then we'll see whether he floats or sinks. And I think we'll probably will see next season. It's a key year for Andre to see how he develops, because I've said that he'll play better when he's got better players around him. So hopefully in the summer we will sign some better players and then we'll see. But probably wouldn't start for me, Martin. I do agree with you there. He'd probably be round the squad. But then if you look at the stats this season, he's going to play the most games from our squad.
But he shouldn't have done.
I'll tell you what, Richard, you speak a hell of a lot of sense. You really do. the comment you
No, whatever.
Colin knows his onions, doesn't he?
no, you do. I mean,
can I have apple crumble, Colin? Can you get apple crumble on the menu for us when we're around?
whatever you like, son. Going on to what you just said, Rich, about better players around him. Me and Ian and Andy have been speaking about that for weeks and months. You know, the better players he has around, I really do. Maybe that is the piece of the jigsaw, Martin. That he needs extra piece around him. Sorry, Martin.
Where are you playing him next season, Colin? Are you playing him in a 2? Are we going 4-2-3-1 and he's part of the 2 in front of the back 4? Because I think we've said before, Martin, when you had the guy from Portsmouth on, the 3 they had at Portsmouth, it wasn't the striker they had, the 3 behind. And I think if Andre's got better options ahead of him, I think we're going to want pace and power, aren't we, I think, in the summer?
Yeah.
So when he looks forward now and you've got Guion Edwards and old armbands there on the right-hand side yesterday, Dobra swimming about, who's proved that he's not good enough. I was a big fan of him. I'm still a big fan of him, but nowhere near ready. No. He's going to have better options.
Don't worry.
He's going to have better players to look forward to, Andre. So let's see what he does next season.
But don't rule out the fact that someone from the Championship could come and get him. I mean, he's been linked to Blackburn, hasn't he, this week?
But they want to do what I want to do with him. Rotation piece. Played 10 to 12, 15 games this season. He's played too many games this year, been overexposed. Yes. Yeah. And he's just not good enough. Everyone's looking at him and thinking, is it because we know his dad? Or is it just because you know his dad, you're expecting? I don't know what you will expect, but he's just not good enough.
You can always games, isn't it? It's gone from playing like half a dozen games to 40 odd. Yeah.
You always say, oh, but if somebody else put the ball in the net, yeah, but that's not how it happens for him. And sometimes you have to go away and be a better player, like Josh Emmanuel, like Miles Kenlock, you're suggesting he will be. Because if you want better players around him, Colin, as Crunch was asking, where are you playing him? Because you're playing him in a 2. Well, you're not going to drop Downs, I would have thought. So where are you
have Lee Evans. Lee Evans will play in front of the back 4 because I reckon we'll sign him. I reckon we know.
I reckon you'll have Downs and Evans. You'll have 2 work rate, two nitty gritty firefighters, and then the 3 will be the creators. And that's not Andre. That's not Andre for me. But Colin, what about yourself?
Well, I mean, you put me in a bit of a conundrum there, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I personally would have played him a little bit further forward. From a personal point, because I think if he played a little bit further forward, he could unlock a few things, but only
score enough goals, Colin. He don't score enough goals to play further forward.
Yeah, that's very true, Rich.
In that 10, whoever's going to be in that 10 has probably got to get 6 to 8 goals, I'd say, the 10. I
agree, but Rich, I was just thinking about along the lines about he can see a pass and he can unlock a defence. I'm not going to mention him in the same sense as Arnold Mira because that'd be unfair to Andre. But I mean, Arnold, I remember Bobby seeing the clips in the dressing room. Bobby would put an arm around Arnold and he'd say, find Palais. Just find Palais. Because he knew he could. He'd unlock that defence, find Palais, bang, 1-on-1. Goal, game over. Now, I think Andre can see a pass. See, I'd never put him in the same category as Arnold because he isn't in that same category as Arnold.
But you're trying hard to.
I'd love to see Andre being, given that kind of role to pick a pass to put somebody in. You know what I mean? For that 1-on-1. That's what I'd like to see Andre doing.
That is a really good comparison, Colin, because Arnold Miran wasn't a quick player. He wasn't a physical player, and Dazelle is similar in that fashion, isn't he? So yeah.
I think next season we need to take the blue tinted academy glasses off, and we just want a team of 11 winners. It doesn't really matter to me who they are. We'd love it if it was like, I'd love Andre next season, player of the year. But if he has to sit on the bench, play a bit part, so be it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Colin, enjoy your afternoon, man. Love you. Appreciate you.
Take care. Bye.
You mentioned the blue tinted glasses there. For me, it's either Downs or Zazelle. You can't have. It's not going to be both for me.
Agreed.
So Downs yesterday and for next season, Crunch. What do you make of it?
I thought Downs. He was all right. But I agree with Matt. It was the game. It was like one of them games at the end of the season. There's nothing on it. I was watching it. Nearly fell asleep again. Just about woke up when we got the penalty for 1-0. And I thought he played 2 or 3 good balls in the first half, but it was a nothing game. No one was really going out of their way to break their neck, were they, yesterday? It was just sort of a bit like go through the motions. And Flynn, I do agree, next season, he needs to step up. He's been a disappointment. It's been a bit of a stop-start season. Obviously, at the start, he had the transfer rumours. I don't think his agent probably helped there. Got in his head a little bit. Then he got injured at MK, come back. Then he played a bit. Then he got a red card in the Northampton. So it's been a bit bitty, hasn't it, for him? But I'm not with a fisherman where he was saying, I'll get rid of Flynn. I think, no, Flynn is a good player. But he's another one. He needs to step up, doesn't he?
Do you think maybe we might see a Nolan and Dazelle too in front of the back four next year, Matt? Do you think the answer's already there? Because really, is it about just covering ground and working hard to allow the four in front of you to just go and be a four that can attack and with freedom?
Nolan's a funny one, isn't he? Because like Cook said, I've seen everyone now and I've made all my decisions. He's not really seen Nolan, has he?
No, he's been injured.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll bring in, he keeps talking about these 15, 16 players that he trusts. And I think he'll bring in a new face, maybe two new faces to fill those positions.
But don't you think, like with Nolan, it's like when a player's out of the side, they're always the better player when they're not available.
Yeah.
But Nolan will be here, and he wouldn't be first choice.
He's another one, though, isn't he, Rich? We've said before. What does he do? We used to say, where does he play? He doesn't do anything particularly spectacular.
He can score a goal. He's got a goal in his locker, I think.
I think if you bring in someone like Evans, you're looking at Evans and Downs as your two, and then you've got Nolan and Dazelle as depth to those two, and that's a good place to be because they're not bad players coming in for the odd game here and there. Dazelle, who's developing.
Could Nolan play the 10?
He's not a 10. I don't know where this myth come from.
He was for Shrewsbury, wasn't he?
He wasn't. He was not a 10. He was a box-to-box midfielder in the 2. He wasn't a 10. He was not a 10.
Go and look this up. I'm not sure.
He wasn't a 10. Colin Plum, Mirren best pass in the first division, brilliant player was Tyson. Yeah. Vicky Henderson, I'd rather have Nolan than Dazelle. I think I'm almost there with you, Vicky, and I don't like Nolan. So that shows how much I don't like Dazelle.
I think one of Dazelle Downs will be gone. I think one of them will be gone. Look, we normally Downs nearly went in the summer, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's had a bad year. Who wants him now? And we'd have to sell. Do you know what I mean? We're in that luxury position. Before we come to Norwood,
you don't want a big. We do want to refresh the squad, but you don't want a big squad. He's already said the squad's too big.
Yeah.
So if you want to bring new faces in, people are going to have to go, even if they're under contract. I still think
this is it. I spoke to Barry from Wigan, and he said he wants 25, and probably 5 or 6 of those are young players. Well, if you look at the in contracts, you've got 14 there already. So with even without anyone leaving, you're looking at not many players coming in at all.
You've got Lancaster and you've got Dobra in them 14, haven't you? There,
you have, and for me, Dobra will be loaned out next year, and he'd be told in uncertain terms, "It's good for you. You need to go and play every week because you're looking lost at the moment. You're looking like you need bigger armbands." Yesterday, again against a team that's in League 2 next year and playing like they're going to be in League 2 next year, again he did nothing and he was lost.
He wants too many touches. There's too many touches on the ball. You watch just Barca for argument's sake, right? Never more than about 2 touches on the ball. Dobra's pissing about 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, then loses possession.
He's going to be a good player. You can tell that. He's got a bit of ability about him, but he needs to go and develop it and play every week. He's not going to
he needs to be kicked up in the air a few times in League 2 and go to them, not to go to Barrow and Harrogate and these places on a Tuesday night. It's not very inviting. It's pissing down the rain. The dressing rooms are not very good. He needs to go and have a bit of that and then come back. I think there is a player in there. But he just needs to go and learn. And for his development, he probably should have gone to Crawley, shouldn't he?
He should have got it.
Hindsight's a great thing. I did like it that he thought he could break through, but I think for his own good, he should have gone and played.
Was it breaking through, or was it just comfortable? Was it being in Ipswich that he knows and the coaches that he knows and the same voices that he hears? Like a big part of football development is going and having managers that are quirky, that aren't. There's
a good one. Look. From Tweedy there, El Mazzuni, there's another player. What do we do with him?
Injured
isn't it?
I'd loan him out again, personally. I need to see a season from him elsewhere, fully fit. I know the injuries weren't his fault. They're one of those types of injuries.
But you've got to think, are there loaning him out? I know, I don't disagree with that. But then, say you get promoted, can he play in the Championship?
Why not? Bradley Dack made the jump up after a couple of years in the lower levels.
True.
They
just need to play football, these kids.
He's had 2 funny loan spells as well. He's gone to Cambridge, started the season at Cambridge, didn't he? And they're going up. And then he finished it at Grimsby. They're going down. So he's had weird experience, I think, this season.
Exactly. And it was a hit and miss the second spell at Cambridge, wasn't it, really? But these young players, they need to play. You do not develop your talent sat on the bench or playing under 23 football because it's poor.
But you look at Wolfenden, for example. He went to Swindon, didn't he, a couple of years back, and he played about 40-odd games, and that's benefited him. But you need to get a lot. We have said before, it's the right loan, isn't it, for these kids to go away? Because you've got to go away and you've got to be playing week in, week out.
Certainly that loan for McGavin to Ayr United wasn't a good move, was it?
But he's another one. But then he's another one again. Needs to go out and play again because he's not going to get in ahead of Nolan, Dazelle, Downs, or one other.
Get these lads in League Two. They should be going in League Two.
We should be looking up. We should be hooking up. I tell you who we should be looking to hook up with now. Southend. They've just been relegated. Vanarama National. Be an affiliate. Send your young players down to them. Pay their wages for them. Guarantee them game time down there. Real
sad them getting relegated, Matt. That's over 100 years they've been in the Football League.
I've got some good friends who are Southend fans. They'll be gutted. But yeah, I mean, look, I've been to Boots and Laces, which is the Southend training ground. A world away from, it's okay, but it's a world away from Playford Road. So yeah, I agree with that. A little affiliate thing would be good, and hopefully that could help Southend get back up. Yeah, and
going to a place with shitty changing rooms, cold showers if you've got a shower at all. That's all part of development and learning your trade, as they say. Right, we've got Cookie's shopping list. We've got 3 players each that we want to bring into the club. We think Cookie should bring into the club. But first of all, we have the man who turned into Lionel Messi yesterday against Barcelona or Real Madrid or any other team. Oh no, wait, it was James Norwood versus Swindon. But our fans, because Cruncher don't like him, I have to take the opposite view. I do love it. Cruncher, James Norwood. First of all, we've got some pictures from the week.
A couple of pictures of my night out in London with the guys.
Yeah, there he is.
There I am. Look, out with the boys. Look, there's Wardy. Last scene, being chasing that waiter down the wing. What about the next one? The next one's the best one.
Why always me?
So, how did he play yesterday for you, Crunch?
James Norwood has got to be one of the worst penalty takers I've ever seen, because even the first penalty was not convincing, was it? Straight up the middle, and the keeper's trailing legs nearly got it. Look, he's done all right. And look, on the pitch, I've said it before, on the pitch, I don't have a problem with him, because the only problem I have is keeping himself fit, which...
Not on it. Yeah.
So 24 appearances, 8 league goals this season. And he's not started all of them, I don't think, has he, Matt?
Started 17, I think.
So that's not good enough.
39 starts, 13 sub appearances. This is over the 2 years, 19 goals. That's in the league. So 52. He's got a goal in him. Not saying he hasn't, but I don't think he's captain material, is he? People saying, oh, he could be the next captain. Really? When we've had people like Mick Mills, Matt Holland, Jason DeVos, who carry themselves. This is where I've got the problem with him. Who carry themselves on the pitch and off the pitch. Norwood, off the pitch, he's a knob. I'll tell you now. He is. Non-league mentality. Let's
talk about this, because sometimes you do talk utter shite, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Midweek, they went for a meal. I could see nothing wrong with it. Matthew Phillips could see nothing wrong with it. You, however, were straight on Twitter, filter.
Was it just the meal? It wasn't a meal, and it wasn't to one restaurant. I know that. There was about 4 that they'd visited. Yeah, but come on.
Gone for a few drinks.
They're still representing. This is what I say. They're still representing the club wherever they go.
They windmilling. Were they in the restaurant?
Why didn't they go out in Ipswich then?
What would you?
So they thought they'd sneak off to London. No one will see them. Because look, who are they really? Nobody's.
Look,
and then someone see him and supported Town in London who went, oh look, there they are giving it the big un, and they were giving it the big un. Typical footballers on a night out.
I don't think there was any sneaking. They probably thought, should we go for a few drinks in London? Why not after this season?
Yeah,
they've actually endured the season the same as we have.
People tweeting me saying, yeah, oh, come on, they're not at work. And I said, hang on, they've been at work for fucking about 3 months, that lot.
Look, it's perception, right? I get it. This is why footballers hire PR consultants and image stylists and all that. It's perception. When you're hurting as a fan, as you are, your credit card is literally a Planet Blue itinerary. You are hurting. You are frustrated. You want those players to hurt the same way you are.
Well, get what Yatesy said. Yatesy, when he said about we've said it before about the wearing the shirt, that it means a lot to us and it doesn't to them. But then when Colin come on last Saturday and he was on about egos, what did he say?
Yeah.
That's why they didn't.
There you go. So it's your ego. Like he said, if they went out in Isaacs, they'd get a gobful. That's why they've sneaked off to London. I don't look. I know
sneak anywhere, man.
Look, they're allowed to have a life. I get that. They're out. They're having a little jolly and probably a leaving do for Ward because they probably knew he was going.
And Edwards.
Hopefully.
And Bishop.
No, Teddy's obviously he's been offered something, hasn't he? Apparently.
Has he?
Contract. Yeah. Perhaps they were searching for that ball to land from Guion from that free kick.
You're joking me.
I don't see, Rich. I don't see how you can link playing for the shirt to they've gone for a bit of a piss up in London. I don't see how the two are linked.
Well, they would look. They don't give a toss, do they? Because they're not hurting. Look, it does boil down to mine. I get what you're saying there. I'm really annoyed. We're 11th in the league. This is our worst team ever. You know, this is our worst team ever. Do they really care? They're on 4 or 5 grand a week. Does it hurt them? Does it hurt them like it does us?
Professionally, maybe, but as my dad used to say, they get paid the same, win or lose. They're not the same as us. They're not fans, are they? It's a job. This is what
let's get back to Norwood on the pitch. On the pitch, he'll still be here next season. He will still be here. I wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't on Twitter yesterday. I'm off Twitter, obviously, for the ban. I think Hawks was carrying the torch for me because he's another big James.
Let me ask you both the question. Has Norwood lived up to the billing that you expected from him when he signed from Tranmere?
No, probably not. But then what were we expecting? You scored a load of goals for Tranmere in League 2. What was we expecting him to score in League 1? I don't know, really. He came with hype, didn't he? Do you remember it? Hashtag announced Norwood. So everyone was buzzing when he signed. And he did look good to begin with, but he was never injured for Tranmere, and the Ipswich curse of injuries has hit him. And I don't think he's ever really recovered from that groin up he had just after the Fleetwood game away last season. I don't think he's recovered from that, really.
Crunch, has he lived up to the billing for you?
No, he hasn't. But he's still capable. He's still our best goal threat, isn't he? On the pitch when he plays. I'll never bag him off. I'll never bag him off for when he's on the pitch because he does. He always gives the effort. You see him. He'll chase down. Is he a captain? Probably not. But then yesterday, someone's got to carry the armband. It's like you said. I think it was pre-match. Is it one of them where the armband's in the kit bag and first to get it wears it? And he sniffed out that second goal yesterday. He was aware. He'll be here next season. He wouldn't be first choice for me. I agree with Colin. You've got to represent the club properly.
I do agree with that. Yeah,
even when you're off the pitch, you have to represent the club because you're still an Ipswich Town player. And I know they're allowed to have
do it next week. Do it end of the season. The fans are then right. It's done. It's there in the season. That's fine. But in the middle of the season, when Rich is really hurting and Colin's really hurting and Mike Brown's really hurting, I can see why you got upset. I don't agree with it. I think you're talking shite, but I can see why you got upset.
It's always a talking point, though, isn't it? I'm one of them people. What did you call it? Crunch-ageddon. I think you called it. He said, I'm signing off for the night. It's like, I will say, if a lot of people out there won't say it, I'll say it. I'll get a bit of stick because I knew when I put that on. But it's like yesterday. We played Swindon. It's like Hawks said this morning. We're going on like he's prime Lewandowski.
Fucking hell.
He scored 8 goals, for fuck's sake. He scored 8 goals this season. And this is where Lee yesterday, he's on about get out of Peterborough's arse. Hang on. Johnson Clark Harris has got 31 goals, Lee. James Norwood has got 8. Have a fucking look at him. Give your head a wobble. He's got 8 goals. We're 10th in the
12,
league.
right?
We're not getting promoted out of the league.
Brett Pittman's got 12 in a relegated
Exactly.
team.
There you go. So
I can
next
see
season,
why. I was going to say, I can see what. Yesterday, I was a bit bemused when you said Norwood's going to be captain. But I can see why he did because he's a vocal character. I always thought Downs would probably get the armband in a vice captain style role. It's interesting to me that he didn't. I wonder if we can read into that a little bit. But
was he the first? I'll have to message Statman. Was he the first Ipswich player who was captain with a man bun?
I doubt that man's statistics go that deep.
I think they do.
Right, shopping list. 3 players we think Cookie should be bringing in. Who wants to kick us off? Matt, go on, Matt. You kick us off. First player.
3 players. So you're talking about a new right back. So I'm going back to last summer. Elvis Buono at Southend. On a free. He's on a free. He was their player of the year last season. In fact, I think he got player of the month every single month up until the pandemic shut everything down. Still only 22. Plays right back, can play at centre half as well. Highly thought of. Now on a free transfer in a relegated Southend side. So I think he would provide good competition for Kane, Elvis. Yeah.
So your first choice is Elvis, a right back from Southend.
Elvis Buono. Yeah. There he is. You want a second one?
No,
does he wear blue boots? Does he wear blue boots? Because we could have a little song about that, couldn't he? Elvis and his blue suede.
Has he got a man bun? That's what Crunch wants to know, really.
No, he has not.
Definitely not. Right. Said about this guy before, Charlie Kirk, Crew Alexandra, left-hand side, Mick Mills, big fan. So 40 games this season, he's got 6 goals and 203 appearances, 32 goals in his career. Made his debut at 16 for Crew. He's 23, got a year left on his deal. So you're probably going to have to pay, what, $500,000? Yeah. I've always been impressed when I've seen him. He's got a goal in him, and he's at that age where we can progress him and then maybe look to, well, hopefully he'll go to the Championship with us. But if he gets better and then someone comes in for him, we can sell him on for a fee. And that's what I think we need to look. No, I would not say, hang on. No, I wouldn't suit a man bun. Don't be silly.
You would. No,
don't be silly.
Not fair.
But
it's a good shout, Kirk. And Cook did go to the Valley to watch Charlton versus Crew, so there could be something in that.
Who was the striker he was linked with Crew in the week?
Owen Dow, was it?
Yeah, Owen Dow.
Yeah.
But you look at the Crew, look at over the years the players they've had come through. You know, it's just a conveyor belt.
All right. My first one. You both said right backs. I've said left back before. I'd go Nesta Guinness Walker's. Let me get the name right. Yeah, Nesta Guinness Walker from Wimbledon. He's 21. He's whenever I've seen Wimbledon, he's always stood out. He's looked decent. Scored at Portman Road, didn't he? When in the first season we came down. Him and Kenlock competing for that starting berth, I'd be happy with that.
And related to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Alec Guinness.
There you go.
Great grandson, something like that.
And he's the right age for the way I think the club want to operate. You know,
young player. Got a wild card for you. Luke Varney's available.
No, piss off.
I think Guinness Walker's a great shout. Yeah, really good.
Second one, Crunch. You go first this time.
I've got a list here. Goalkeepers. Look, Christian Walker. Forster Kasky, Matt's out of contract at Charlton. He'd be a decent one. But striker-wise, Joe Pigott for me.
Yeah,
he's always scored goals, and I know at a lower level. But I think when you look at him, he's a big guy, but he's decent on the floor as well. He's 27, and I think he could bring goals. I really do. And he's another one. He's on a free transfer. You're not going to have to spend loads of money here. Could he? People say, yeah, but Ipswich might be a too big a club for him. Why? Given the chance, he's got 20 goals this season again.
Are you worried into Sam Parkin? You worried he'll turn into Sam Parkin?
Well, is Sam Parkin on one of them lists from Statman, worst signings ever? Because I remember him coming in. It was a little bit, wasn't it, Matt? We had Kookie and Bent the season before, and then we suddenly went to Nicky Forster, who was good at Reading probably about 5 years before that, and Sam Parkin. Although I did see him score a great goal away at QPR.
You can see the logic. You can see the logic Joe Roll was playing there.
Yeah.
You can see the logic of bringing them two together. Yeah.
But I think Pigott, I think he could score goals with the service. He's done it this season. Maybe he's not sexy enough for some of our fans, but I think at the minute, I see Jordan Rose linked the other day, and everyone's saying, "Oh no." We have to realise where we are. Let's not bin everybody off when they're linked. Oh, he's no good. Jordan Rhodes, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
My only concern with Pigott is, does he fit what Cook wants to do formation and tactically wise? Is he a centrepiece? Is he strong enough to hold it up? Is he a Murphy type?
Yeah, I think so. He's going to revert to 4-2-3-1 next season.
100%, yeah.
That's the thing. So Yeah, I think Pigott could play that role. Yeah, I see him as like a Daryl Murphy style.
Okay, he's not for me. I'm not on board with that. Just because he's looking at his history. Maidstone was the other.
Yeah, I looked at there. Cambridge on loan. He's Charlton. He started at. Who would you go for, Martin, striker wise?
Striker wise, I've only got one name because I wasn't focused on the strikers.
Sombalonga.
No, well, yeah, I would go for Britt Sombalonga, but no, I've gone for Gary Medine. Free transfer.
Yeah.
Strong, tough. And I think he fits the 4-2-3-1 in the hold-up sense. He'll hold the ball up and bring the pacey wingers, attacking midfielders into play.
Callie's there. Look, Callie's there on about Rhodes. What did he say about the club when he was at Norwich? Because I'm not on board with that.
Who cares?
Exactly. Jordan Rhodes in this division. I don't know if he's, like you say, the centrepiece. I don't know if he can play that role. But you're not just going to sign one striker. We're probably going to sign, I'd say, 2 strikers. Jordan Rhodes, he would get a hatful in this league, given the service. He's 31. Forget that he played for Norwich on loan. Does that really matter? Unfinished business for him at Town.
I don't think he'd drop down. I think it's an unrealistic target. I really do. I think it's a reporter's dream this summer. Take over, bit of money. Any player that's free will be linked, particularly if he's got old connections. Whereas for my shout, Gary Medine, he's played in this level before. He's got 4 goals this year, 2 assists. He's 30. He's a stopgap. He's a come in, do a job, we'll get promoted, then we'll look again. I don't think the striker is the important part of Paul Cook's 4-2-3-1. I think it's the wingers and the player behind.
You still need someone in there scoring 20. You still need someone in there scoring 20 goals. You look at the team.
Blackpool in the top 6, and Gary Medine's played 20 games this year and got 4 goals. So
he's not playing at the minute, is he? Because Yates is playing and the lad on loan from Everton.
For me, that's who I'd go for because I was looking for big, tough strikers, and I couldn't really locate one that would.
Medine, no, he's a no from me.
That's fine.
Dion Charles.
Hang on, second one from Matt first.
I've not looked at strikers. I've gone midfield here. Here's a little curveball for you. At Carlisle, Callum Guy, 24. He's played 42 league games this season. Hasn't scored any goals, so he's like excuse. Doesn't score. He's got 14 assists, and he can play attacking midfield, and he can play CDM as well. So he's on a free as well. Carlisle, and that's in a team of Carlisle that is 10th, so they're not going to, I don't think they're going to go up. But that's someone who's at a good age. You're talking like a good age, sort of similar age to Gillies Walker. And 14 assists, I think, is absolutely fantastic. I've been at Leeds League 2 for assists. So he's not a goal scorer, but if we're going to bring in some quality players around him, which is what we keep saying.
But he does create.
He'd be able to create. So I think that's a good player to look at. Callum Guy.
Crunch, third one.
Well, he played yesterday and he got an assist, but I'm not taking. Look, Scott Twine. We see what he could do at Portman Road earlier in the season with that guy. When did we last have a midfielder who could shoot from 30 yards out? Because we got no one at the minute.
Yeah,
he's 34 games this season for Swindon, and because he's on loan at Newport before Christmas, and he's got 11 goals. He's I think he's out of contract, but he has been offered something from Swindon, but he's 21. Someone that, but then do we need another young player? That's the only thing I'd say. You've got your Downs, you've got your Dizelles. Do we need someone a little bit, probably 24? I don't know, but then you've got look, Morgan Rogers at Lincoln from Man City on loan. Brennan Johnson, I know he's been mentioned because he's done well for Lincoln this season on loan from Forest, but will Forest have him back in their team next season? Because it's all about loaning these players out and then coming back. People in the chat saying Waghorn, get in the bin. Snake, wouldn't want him back.
Oh, shut up, man.
He
wanted more money. He wanted more money for his family in a better club. At the time, Derby were a better club. Without this consortium taking us over, we'd be Southend. We'd be going through the divisions now because the future under Evans would look bloody bleak. It would look pissing bleak.
What we need in the summer, we need robust players who can play week in, week out, and they're going to be available. We don't want people coming in injury prone. We need to look at that when we're signing these players. Who's
your third one, Matt?
So I'm looking at potential captains because I think Chambers is going to go. It was very interesting to me that Cook name-checked in an interview the other week Sammy Morsey, who's at Middlesbrough. But the problem we've got there, he would command a fee, and he's only been there about 6 months because Walnut brought him in. So I don't think that's going to be realistic, unfortunately, because Morsey was Cook's captain at Chesterfield and Wigan, I believe. So we talk about trusted figures, these 15, 16 trusted figures that Cook would go to. Morsey obviously fits that bill. But the fact that he's not been at Middlesbrough very long and was cherry picked by Warnock, probably rules that out. So I'm going to go with Jamie Jones, who's the goalkeeper at Wigan and their captain. And Cook signed him on the premise that he's 32 now. And Cook signed him in about 2017, 18, I believe, on the premise that he knew him well already, knew he had leadership qualities. And that's obviously something we've been saying has been lacking. Hence the reason Norwood got the armband yesterday, I feel. He was the only real leader on the pitch. So I think, goalkeeper. So fits the bill down. Good goalkeeper. Played over 300 appearances in Football League. And potential skipper material as well, Jamie Jones.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. My third one. I've been looking at Ashton's transfer record at Bristol, and I've gone for a bit of a left field one here, guys. All right. Kenny Rocha Santos from Nantes in France. All right. Out of contract. 21. So young player that in the mould of what Ashton likes to do, bringing these players from the continent that are young enough to develop and maybe grow with the club or sell on. He's played 34 games, scored 6 goals and got 8 assists from the centre of midfield this year.
Nice.
Decent little player. Tidy.
Say his name again, Ryan. What's his name again?
Kenny Rocha Santos. I can't tell you where he was born because I can't pronounce it. Seo Vicente. Oh, I think that's right. Started with St Etienne, moved to Nantes for 135,000, but he's out of contract this year. Played really well, can play attacking midfield, holding midfield. Nice. I just think if you look at Aston's record at Bristol City, he likes to go and pick these players up from the continent between 19 and 23. Yeah, nominal fees, maybe on a free, and develop them. And I just think that'd be nice, a bit of a Kevin Brew type signing where it's intriguing, it's exciting, comes with pedigree, having got that many goals and assists this year. Why not?
Yeah, like it.
Other option was Randell Williams, a right wing back from Exeter.
I said him last week, didn't I?
But I went for the obscure.
What's the guy at Portsmouth plays right hand side of the 3? Williams has a ponytail. Played against us. He's out of contract. Can't remember what his first name is.
Depends what division they end up in. We do need to have them stay down because they're losing money, Freddie was telling me. So if they stay down, there could be a couple of players there they can't afford to keep hold of. Or either in or out of contract. So
it's interesting, isn't it? You look at the division thinking, do we want Lincoln to stay down? Who do you want to come down? Do you want we don't really want Derby to come down, I don't think, because they've just got new ownership.
You want Rotherham to Rotherham, they're in the pole position to stay up. So you could have Sheffield Wednesday and you could have Derby in the league and Sunderland.
Yeah.
And my guy's made the starting 11 83% of the time. So he's fit. He keeps himself fit. 21. Just keep a name at Kenny Rocha Santos. There you go. Look at that one. Right, Saturday afternoons are now free, guys. So what are we going to do on a Saturday afternoon? What are we looking forward to doing?
It was Ryan Williams at Pompey. Rich, Ryan Williams.
Yeah, decent player. Decent player. Summer.
What are we going to do?
We know what the summer's all about.
Euros.
It's all about the Euros. It's all about the Euros. We've got football coming out of our ears. Cricket season. Come on.
Well,
Wimbledon.
Have a day off over there. Posh Totty. Look at him. Look.
Strawberries and cream.
Strawberries and cream. I'm looking forward to going to see some non-league football for once. I've been missing it all year. There's a couple of tasty fixtures coming up. Looking forward to it. Really am.
Who are you going to watch? Who are you going to see?
I don't know, because obviously they're releasing the fixtures slowly. So I've got my man Dan Barnard, manager of Claydon, keeps saying, Dan, what's the fixtures? Dan, what's the fixtures? And he's they're not out yet. But I do want to highlight, actually, so I might go and see Trimley Red Devils. They're a second team of mine a little bit, having come from Trimley. And last week, I wanted to show you a hell of a save from the Trimley goalkeeper. Let me just grab it a second. Where is it? Here it is. Because it is a good save. So if you want a goalkeeper, maybe this fella.
He's in the
yeah, absolutely. Right. Can you see it? Is it there?
Yep.
Perfect. Here we go. So
big crowd there, look. Big crowd.
Yeah, it's good.
Is this in a gantry?
I've played on this pitch. Beautiful pitch. Yeah. This is my haunting
he's done well there.
Well, here he comes. Ready? Here he comes. Look at that for a save. Tips it over. Thomas Holy type footwork.
Great save.
That was. Let me tell you who that was. That was the Haverhill Borough goalkeeper against Trinity Red Devils last week. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Euros and non-league.
Stowmarket, new assistant manager.
I did.
So Richard Wilkins. I don't know if you know him, Matt. He played for Colchester, played for Cambridge. He was at Bury Town, Needham.
Yeah.
Little story for you. When I played for Steeple Dynamos, right? He always used to come to our presentation evening. I think my mum's got a picture. She was voted Clubman of the Year and she's got a picture. I think he's giving her a kiss. Really nice guy as well, Richard. I know his two brothers, and Stowmarket. Hopefully this season they will get promoted, because the last 2 years they've really been done by COVID, haven't they? Really,
they have.
He did play at Bury Town, didn't he?
Yeah, good manager. Yeah,
with him for a bit. Yeah, very good.
You know, because Muzzy's now Paul Musgrove's number one at Stowmarket. Love Muzzy, because Rick Andrews left. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some decent football in action and some goals. Goals. Leighton Durham. Can I just say thank you, Martin, all the contributors this season. Match days and Sundays won't be the same without you. Sundays aren't going anywhere, my man. We're staying right here. We've got some specials lined up.
We're still going to be here anyway. No pre-season for us. We're not having any holiday.
No, we've got nothing better to do.
Has been going through that contact book of hers. We've got some right good specials coming up your way. Keep your eyes peeled. Jem, are iFollow still showing live games next season?
Not been decided yet, I don't think, is it?
I don't know. Right, on to...
We'll be back in stadiums, won't we?
Yeah, and I've got some plans for that. Don't worry. As a point, first of all, big shout out to our two winners during the week who won Graham's book, Nikki and Simon Wall, and Matt Stannard. They won the monthly giveaway for the first month. So congratulations. But yeah, we've got some big plans next year. But thanks to the guys that donate monthly. Well, thanks to anybody who donates, really, but particularly the ones that donate monthly. It allows us to plan, as I was saying on Thursday, and sort of know we've got this sort of income coming in. What tech do we need? What can we do? What can we achieve? What can't we achieve? So a huge thank you to everybody.
We need to get them subscribers up. We need to get up to 2,500.
Well, we've got a few things planned for that, haven't we?
We need to get there.
But a huge thank you to everybody who supports us. That's an old graphic. I haven't got the new one to hand, but thank you. There'll be another giveaway in May. Right. Do you want to do some goats? Should we go to our goats?
Yeah.
Let me just play the intro.
Come on, that one.
Matt, then. What's your goat, man?
So it's all kind of linked to the Super League, really. But Mino Raiola, super agent, born in Italy, but brought up in Holland, looks after lots of world-class players, Zlatan being one of his, Paul Pogba being another. And at the moment, he's got Erling Haaland on his books. And we've talked about the Super League being this sort of super soulless entity of closed shop, and it's just big brands. Raiola is basically shopping Haaland around as if he's like a product and not a person or a player. And they've gone right around Europe with him, trying to see who is going to put the most money on the table. I mean, Raiola goes, he's got two things he wants. He wants to score goals and he wants to win titles. The third option, of course, who's going to pay us a shitload of money, which is what he's doing here. And I just find the whole thing absolutely soulless. And of course, they've been to see Real Madrid, haven't they? And Raiola was talking to AS newspaper in Spain, the daily sports newspaper in Spain, and about this Real Madrid link. And he said, do Real Madrid, can they afford him? He said, I think they can. I think it would be like a good fit. Listen, Real Madrid couldn't afford a bag of chips at the chippy.
900 million in debt, Matt, you told us. 900 million €.
Yeah, it's just absolutely ludicrous. And
there you go.
I just can't stand it. I just can't stand it. And my mogul story will be the opposite end of the spectrum to this. But you remember we was all scratching around mid-pandemic? What kind of rescue package are all the clubs going to get? Are League 1 and 2 clubs going to survive it? And in the end, the Football League and the Premier League came together, and this £50 million was divvied up as grants across everyone. Raiola made 22 million coming out of the game off Paul Pogba's transfer, straight into his pocket. 22 million. How much million does someone need? And Forbes magazine think he's worth about 50 million. So that's 50 million that's gone out of the game into one man's pocket. So I can't stand people like that. And, he's part of that Super League culture of clubs becoming brands, players as brands. I can't stand it.
It's not a bad job if you can get it, is it?
It's a lot, him having millions doesn't particularly bother me. I just find it soulless, and it's money that could be back in the game somewhere else. Yeah,
absolutely. My go comes right out of the Marcus Evans PR stunt book, because this is how good it was. It was obviously, I don't like to get political on any of my shows or any of my social media, but this isn't a political jab. However, this guy was not making any jabs with this PR stunt.
It's like me down the gym.
Why do they get these people doing these types of things?
So look, vote
Nick-
Labour.
but hit it, man.
Keep
Is
your
that
gun up, kid.
UV? Is that UV versus Mark Heath, Matt? Is that you?
I like to think I can hit the heavy bag a bit heavier than that.
Right out of the Marcus Evans
Oh,
PR stunt book, that, innit? Like, what on earth is he doing?
Yeah, I know.
Poor old bloke. Poor old boy.
Here we go then. So we've just talking about Soulless. Let's reignite the flames of passion for our communities. So tomorrow is the FA Vars final for last season, 2019-2020. And this is a competition that's close to my heart because I used to help organise this in my days at the FA. It's absolutely fantastic. So the teams that take part in it, there's normally about 600, 650, 620, something like that. So they're teams that are in what they call step 5 and 6 of the pyramid, tier 9 and 10. So Premier League is tier 1, and these are down in tier 9 and 10. And in order to play in the FA Cup, you have to have done a season in the VAR. So it's kind of your entry position competition. But of course, the finalists get to play at Wembley. It's a huge competition. It's almost as big as the FA Cup. That's 700 plus clubs. This is 600 odd. And generally, in the last probably 10, 15 years, the Northern League in the North East has been well represented in the final. And that's going to be this case tomorrow. So it's Concert versus Hebburn Town. And I remember in my time, Whitley Bay won it 3 or 4 times on the trot, really big club in the Northern League. So these two are in it, Concert and Hebburn Town. And another thing I worked on at the FA was with Brendan Batson, you may remember was at West Bromwich Albion, 1 under 3 degrees with Laurie Cunningham-Cyril. Absolutely fantastic guy. We use a lot of Asians in football initiatives. And Concert and Hebburn tomorrow are going to have the first British South Asians to face each other at Wembley. Not only that, they're twin brothers. Arjun Puriwal plays for Concert and Amar Puriwal plays for Hebburn. So there you go. I think that is an absolutely fantastic story and a fantastic competition. They're from a Sikh family. You can watch the game on BT Sport. I believe it's free to air at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And I've always been really, like I say, working with Brendan and seeing the passion he had for it was, try and get some Asian representation in the England team at some point. I know it's coming. It is coming. Look at cricket, Rich, Moeen Ali, for example, sort of iconic figure on the T20.
Yeah,
I'd love
massive.
to see that in the England team. And look, there's Hamza Chowdhury at Leicester. There's Yan Dander at Swansea. And I always remember Anwar Adin, who was at Dagenham, Asian footballer at Dagenham. And I remember chatting to him, me and Brendan were chatting to him. We said, is it really that difficult for Asians to come through the system? And he said, culturally, maybe. He said, but if you had a Asian kid who came through the system who was good as Lionel Messi, he said the whole world would be queuing up for him. So I think that's a fantastic story for tomorrow. And it's such a great game, that VARs, because the teams are so equal. It's back and forth. It ain't like that Snorfest you saw in the League Cup final last week. It's great. There's always goals in it. So if you're around it, free to air on BT, I believe, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Concert versus Hebburn. Check it out. And good luck to the Puriwal brothers. I think that's a
shame there's no fans, Matt, really, because that's a real big day out, isn't it? And
yeah.
Obviously, at the minute, we can't go, but
Matt,
tomorrow.
Did you work at the FA? Asked Jack Messenger.
I did for a spell.
Yeah. You don't mention it very often. What is it this week?
Well, we're big on the women's football, aren't we? We've done a few specials. We've had Joe on, we've had Tash, Peskett, Page. We've had them all on here. In the week, Farrell Williams.
Hang on, before you do, big shout out to Tash Thomas, who's injured at the moment. So get back on that recovery soon.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Rich?
I knew she was injured. Probably moving house. She's been busy, hasn't she? So, Farrell Williams announced her retirement, and unbelievable. I don't know in the chat, can anybody guess how many caps Farrell Williams won for England? You would never guess. So 37 at Reading now. She's got a kidney infection. That's why she's having to retire. 4 Euros, 3 World Cups. She's played for Charlton, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, Arsenal, now at Reading. 20 years she's been playing. And she's... When women's football started back then, I'll probably Matt at the FA. Have you ever done anything with Farah? Been to any games where she's played in?
Yeah,
she's one of probably the first. She's an icon, isn't she, for women's football? And like she said, it's like when she started playing. It's a bit sad with the pandemic. She said when she started playing, there was no fans there, and it's going to end I think she's playing Chelsea. That's her last game with no fans. It's a real shame, isn't it? Because 2 WSL titles, 2 FA Cups, great montage of goals. I don't know if Martin's got it. If not, I will put it on my Twitter on Tuesday when I'm back on. But,
sorry, it's about 3 minutes worth of goals.
She's got some. There's a goal in there against, I think it's Birmingham. I think they won the league when she's at Liverpool. Birmingham have just scored. They've all celebrated, and the keeper is absolutely asleep on the edge of the box, and it just gets rolled from her from the centre, and she smashes it over her head. Unbelievable goal. And you think 172. So Colin Plum, you're quite close there. 172 caps.
Someone said 173. Someone said
Paul Chapman was one over. Over.
There you go. But you think, what a career.
Yeah.
I liked her. I liked the way she says, "You know when your body's done." Just honest.
I think she's probably going to go into the media because like a lot of them have now, and you got Karen Carney. You got a lot of them. They're on the radio, on the TV. And look, fair play to her. 20 years, great career.
She was always very keen to work with homeless charities. I don't know if there was something in her background, whether there was some kind of homelessness in her family background or something, but she was always very keen to work with those charities. There was a homeless World Cup, would you believe? People who'd been homeless would play in these kind of five-a-side competitions. She was keen to support that. So, yeah, she's a really cool character. Yeah, really good.
Okay, perfect. We're done. I think that's us until tomorrow.
Got a shout out.
Yeah, I do apologise.
Ben Durham.
I have the message. Am I okay to put it on the screen?
Yeah, put it on the screen.
Okay.
So that's
big up Ben Durham.
Sent me that message. 5 years today, celebrating being cancer free, and he's having a party this afternoon. So he's not watching, but he'll be watching on the catch up. So big shout out to you, Ben. You know you've been through it, and hopefully better times are ahead.
Yeah,
health wise and football wise. Hopefully we get some goals for you next year. Well done, Ben. Well done. That's a good story to end on. I like that. We're back tomorrow, 8:30 for the Talking Town Extra Time show. Give me a second. I'll tell you who's on with me. And then I'm going on Tuesday, the final Tuesday night fixture of the year. Myself, Neil Moles, and Steve
Not watching
Thompson.
Tuesday. I'll be watching the Champions League, I'm afraid. City PSG for
boring,
me.
Boring. You can't.
Boring?
Boring.
Tell me Shrewsbury. Get in the bin.
That's where it's at. That's where it's at. You're on one of my shows.
What's the ground called now? What's the ground called now?
It's called the John Nolan Arena.
Anyway, big shout out to Steve Cottrell, who was back at the game yesterday. First Shrewsbury game. He's been really ill with COVID, and big shout out to him.
Absolutely. Tomorrow, 8:30, myself, Nunny, and Ben, Milk Tray Man, will be with you, and then Steve and Neil with me on Tuesday. But we've got something rather delightful to play you out on. Isn't that right, Mr. Phillips?
Yeah, this is from Nick Pete, who's on the Fight Disciples boxing and MMA podcast. And it's fair to say he's not a fan of Norwich City coming back to the Premier League. So I know they were crowned champions yesterday and they're happy, but not everyone's happy, gents. Not everyone's happy about it.
Nope. Here it comes.
Fucking game changer. Like, I'm in anyway. I'm in. Like, Sam, man, let's do something else. Let's have a change. I don't want to go to Norwich away. They just got promoted again. Norwich away is the worst away game in the whole of fucking association football. If I can swerve Norwich away for a weekend in Madrid or a weekend in Barcelona, sign me the fuck up. It's quicker to get to Barcelona than it is to fucking Norwich. You ever been to Norwich away? It's a twat of an away ground. So, man, come on. Fucking hell, sign me up. I'm up for it. Why not? Okay.